about Republicans. You didn't hear about Democrats.
That's right.
We all found strength because, and it's amazing to experience something like this, but we really were united as countrymen. We didn't think about politics. It didn't happen. The only time I thought about politics was when our president flew in on, I think it was either Thursday or Friday of that week, probably Thursday. I think Thursday's the first day he came in and stood on that pile of rubble with the elderly firefighter, and we were glad the president was there.
Yeah.
That was George W. Bush, folks, because it was not a political situation. Are we having a problem with
just Buzz's camera is sagging.
Buzz, you've got a sagging camera.
So forgive me for interrupting.
I had a nickel for every time.
We hopefully will be mindful of those heroes. For the first time in the United States, we became aware of our first responders, the police and the firefighters that keep us safe every day. That hasn't changed, and I'm glad that that put them in the spotlight.
Heroes.
They probably should have been there before.
Another thing, if I can jump in, this was the first time in my lifetime that I felt that America was not an impenetrable fortress.
Yep.
And it was, I mean,
unnerving.
we were very aware of our first responders, and that was amazing, but it was so unsettling.
The Pentagon, the seat of the greatest military power in the world, attacked.
Yeah.
It was unnerving.
It was really, it flipped me out.
Because of the firefighters and the first responders, the police officers that lost their lives that day, hopefully we'll be mindful of those heroes on a daily basis. Most of us on this show were in New York City the day it was attacked. We were on the air when the second tower was hit and when both towers collapsed. Broadcasting from Midtown Manhattan, we didn't have time to really process what was going on and what had happened because we were too busy getting the minute-by-minute information out. It was only in the hours after we left the studio on the streets of New York, smelling the smoke, hearing the sirens, seeing the dust, seeing the people covered with dust, the New York firefighters on the back of their trucks, that we appreciated the true human tragedy that had taken place. So I think I speak for all the guys on the show when I say on this day, remember the loss, but also remember that when times are toughest, we throw away all of our petty differences, that it seems like that's all we hear about day in, day out is the differences we have as Americans. We came together then. We came together. You can't quantify it. You can't say this is how we came together. But we did come together as Americans. And I think on this day, if you want to remember the loss, do that. But also remember the fact that we are capable as a nation of coming together. And we really did do that back then. So with that, we'll have some thoughts about 9/11. We'll get the show started. Let's get going.
You can listen to The Mike O'Mara Show at www.mikeomarashow.com.
Stay tuned for an outstanding entertainment program.
It's The Mike O'Mara Show.
Let's get down to business.
From the entertainment capital of the world.
Ain't nothing wrong with having relations. Don't be ashamed of that. Relations is beautiful. When I was young, I used to always have relations. Every night, if a nice gentleman bring me flowers and candy, take me to a movie, show me a lovely evening, then I would take him home and give him hot, lovely relations. Relations is a beautiful thing. It's nothing to be ashamed of, especially to young people. You know, sometimes when I'm alone, I relate to myself.
I can relate.
So, Carla, do you like children?
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. I can't wait for Sherman to bring me home some grandbabies.
Yeah, I know you're going to enjoy making them babies. Got them childbearing hips. Baby pop right out.
Yeah, you know, I still got my wedding dress. If you want it, I'll take it in and let you wear. You look so lovely in it. It's white, though. Can you wear a white wedding dress, young lady? Now, Sherman, you can wear a white tuxedo. Did you know Sherman's never had relations?
Mama, you're going to embarrass my baby.
Don't pick out a strong back.
Look at my
when
baby
you get
blushing.
all that man and release all that's been built up for 35 years, just wanting and wanting and wanting, whoo, might make your head blow off.
It's The Mike O'Mara Show. Mike O'Mara, Buzz Burbank, Rob Spiewak, Oscar Santana. And now, from his couch, here's Mike.
Live from the Cappy Pfeiffer Studios, it's America's most beloved podcast, The Mike O'Mara Show, downloaded more than 15 million times and heard in 150 countries worldwide. We are delighted to have you with us. It is Tuesday, September 11th, as we mentioned before. Our show today brought to you by TryLendingTree.com. You're still thinking about refinancing your home. Based on the numbers that I've heard now, interest rates are even going to go lower.
It's amazing, isn't
which
it?
is truly a mind-blowing deal. You want to refinance? You want to get a brand new house? The answer is LendingTree.com. Just go to trylendingtree.com, fill out one simple form, and let their network of over 200 lenders compete for your business. It's totally free, and customers are saying things like, LendingTree rocks! They took me from a first inquiry to a refi loan closing with the notary coming to my house on a Sunday in 30 days. Unbelievable. Wow. So that's the kind of work LendingTree is doing out there with amazingly low rates. Don't wait. Visit trylendingtree.com. That's TRY, lendingtree.com. Get a free mortgage guide when you enter the code TMS. Rob, I feel like I'm broadcasting out of a closet right now.
A little echoey.
I swear to God.
Really?
Call 86. You know what scares me is you can't hear it. That's what I can't stand about it.
Nothing has changed since yesterday.
You are the conduit of our audio, and you can't.
Do your headphones work?
How's that?
Well, you can't hear.
He's wearing them wrong.
You can't hear the echo.
I mean, it sounds to me like it sounded yesterday.
866.
Yes, it does.
291-2010. You'll be confident you got the best deal. Visit trylendingtree.com and enter the code TMOS. Let me try mic technique.
Yeah, maybe
mic
it's
technique
that.
101. Let me try it over here. Hey. No, I still hear it. But anyway.
It's the room, and we've got to address that.
But the audio on this show
has been crisper.
Effing perfect.
Yeah.
Flawless. So we're very picky about that.
Rightly
it's like
so.
my father used to be when we first got a color television set. First of all, it took us a long time to get a color TV.
Right.
When we finally got our, believe it or not, back in the day, Toshiba.
Wow.
Really?
Look at you.
He would go nuts. He would go nuts.
Getting it just right.
Oh, my God, especially with a football game. Like, get the red, got to get the blue, and the Giants helmet.
Oh,
There
I
we
totally
go,
forgot
there we go.
about that.
Yeah.
Having to actually adjust color.
Oh my God, I used to do that as a kid for
You
my pops.
used to adjust color on a
Yeah.
television.
I've had Buzz come to
Need
two
more-
of my homes.
Need more gain.
I'm
need
actually
more
an
gain.
expert at that.
Are any of the microphones open outside of the
No, just our four.
the four? Yeah, it sounds echoey. You're
Let me
right.
join you with that.
But anyway, sorry, our apologies. Hope you'll
No
enjoy
problem.
the
Oh, wait,
show
I have to
today.
run this, don't I?
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. NMLS license number 1136, 1312 Village Creek Drive, Suite 900, Plano, Texas 75093.
Hey, when you go to Try LendingTree, enter the code TMOS. We
Thanks.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
In advance. On the program today, it is the anniversary of 9/11, and I think, Buzz, you had mentioned it's a Tuesday, but also that Tuesday and the identical weather that we had on 9/11 in 2001 when we were all in New York, and you were in DC, I assume. Oscar?
I was in DC. For you guys, it's a completely different experience because you were like right near Ground Zero. You were there in New York City.
We actually, here's the funny thing. People say you were in New York. Wow. We that could have gone on, and outside of smelling some smoke and seeing the smoke over Manhattan,
Right.
we would have been completely unaware that
Might
anything
not
had
have known.
actually
No,
happened.
and even that really wasn't apparent until like day 3 when the wind shifted.
Yep, that's right, because the wind was blowing in the other
Manhattan's
direction.
a north to south vertical island, and the attack took place on the southern tip of the island, and
Right.
we were closer to the northern part or north central part of that island.
Yeah, Midtown Manhattan.
Right.
The one thing I always remember from listening to you guys broadcast that day, just as really a listener, I was working at WHFS, which is a rock station here in DC, and I remember waking up personally, looking at the TV, getting some coffee, because at that point I was on 20 hours a week, working 40 hours a week, but it was just morning time.
Of course.
And I turned on the TV at my parents' house and I said, Middle East, when are they going to get it straight? Because I just didn't know.
It was here?
I just didn't know.
They have some awfully tall buildings over
and
there now.
that's exactly.
do.
And I turn around to the kitchen island, turn back, I said, those are some tall buildings for Lebanon. Like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Right.
that
And
must be downtown Lebanon.
And then I look and I'm like, and I literally almost dropped my coffee mug and I got on the phone because my father worked right next to the State Department and all these erroneous reports are coming about that there was a bomb at the State Department.
Wow. It was.
there was
amazing.
a lot of misinformation. That's one thing I truly
when
remember.
That first tower got hit, the sports DJs who were on the air at WNEW
was
were
Pharrell.
working in New York.
Was it really?
They called me into the control room and they said, "Hey Buzz, look at this." And I said, "Oh, geez, some asshat has flown his small private plane into the World Trade Center."
and I
the number
remember,
one
and
thing.
I remember that being reported.
And then the second second one hit, and it was just, you instantly knew the nation is under attack.
To show you how clueless, even being in Manhattan, how clueless I was, it was one of those rare mornings where I was exercising. So I'd gone down and gotten on the treadmill, and I was coming out of my hotel room at the Essex House at 8:30 in the morning. And I was calling home at that time, and there was no cell service whatsoever. Didn't think twice, but I mean, really, no. Do you guys remember how dead the phones were?
I remember
it was
I
just
got
like there was nothing.
I got 2 calls through that day.
I did too.
I got one
at
call
the end of the day, right?
I got one call. No, right when it first happened, I called Carrie, who was in Iowa, of all places, visiting her dad, and I said, "Something's going down in New York. I want you to know." She didn't know the topography or the geography of New York. I said, "I'm very far away from what's going on right now. I'm okay right now." And the other call I got through at about 4 o'clock that afternoon, because there was also so much misinformation about what was going on in D.C.
Right.
I wanted to make sure that my grandfather was okay and that my family was okay. So I got people that work in the government. In my
I just
family.
had nothing. I remember that.
But you
cell
didn't
phone
know
being
why.
dead.
Yeah,
And I
right.
didn't think twice about it.
Right.
We used to all have some of us would do it alone. Some of us we'd all have a group breakfast at a place called the Brooklyn Diner.
Right. Yes.
It was a diner that was located right in the bottom of our office building. And I remember sitting there, and the waitress, the first time I got any inkling of what was going on, the waitress, who seemed frazzled, came over and she said, "I'm sorry everything's running so late today." I didn't even think about it. I was reading the newspaper. But my mom is in one of the buildings next to the towers. I said, "What happened?" She said, "Somebody flew a private plane into one of the towers." I'm like, "Oh my God." And I remember going around, and I walked around the corner, and they had that little, that little bar they had at the Brooklyn Diner, that little alcove right in the back. And I was looking, and they had a television set on, and I said, that doesn't look like a private plane.
Right.
No.
But anyway, I didn't eat breakfast, grabbed my stuff, went upstairs, and we were on the air, I think, within 45 minutes.
I know that the first plane hit when I was in the elevator going up to NEW. And I think that NEW was 9th and 10th floor.
Yeah,
I think.
10th,
Ninth and
And
10th
so
floor.
it was
or
that
8th and 9th floor.
It was during the time that I was going up there, and I was told the first thing I was told by engineer Pete Johnson. He said, "Private plane is flying."
Hey, Rob.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know if you heard.
Watch out.
Private plane went in, and that's what everyone thought.
Well, I was able to get out a call before the phones got all jammed up, and the first person I called was my dad in Kansas, because I knew he would be concerned. And I said, "Dad, I'm just calling to let you know I'm okay." And he said, "Well, why wouldn't you be?" And I said, "Well, because we're under attack." And told him what had happened. And he was very concerned. I tried to call, I think by the time I tried to call my wife, which was the second call, I was not able to reach her, but that was only because she was in a dentist chair at the time.
It was really surreal.
I remember reports coming from The Wire. I mean, real sources saying the National Mall was on fire, that people in D.C.
the misinformation
the
is insane.
misinformation was crazy. And that was as bad as it was, and people said it must have been horrible to be in New York City when that happened. The hardest thing was not being around my family and not being able to know immediately that everyone was okay.
And the second hardest thing was standing next to New Yorkers who were devastated at what has happened to our city. They were really
it was
shaken.
unbelievable.
Now, maybe you guys can give me your perspective, because clearly mine was just as a spectator. But you were there. You're in major market broadcasting. You've realized what's happening. What is your next move? How do you get together as a team with Don and yourself to make a decision of what's going to happen next?
Buzz did a great job in passing along information with nothing. Buzz was using every little source he had, there.
And a tremendous job of, I recall Buzz.
Interns and office staff were helping.
Pulling stuff.
And it was
did anybody help you from INS upstairs? Did you get any information from them?
If you'll remember, we were on WNEW, and I would do sort of an update about what I had gathered, and interns and other office staff were bringing the information constantly. I was trying to filter out, okay, well, what's real and what's unconfirmed, and just trying to sort that out and keep it as straight as possible. And then I would do that, and then we would lead into, I think, the top of the hour newscast from 1010 Wins.
Yeah, we did carry a simulcast.
Yeah,
and also Buzz did an amazing
and
job.
we took a lot of phone calls as well.
Yes, we did.
Buzz did an amazing job of, if someone joined us at any time during that, and I think we were on for like 5 or 6 hours, because I know we went on early that day.
Longer than that.
It was Buzz, at any time you joined in, He would set the table and tell you exactly where we were.
And
You
then
were
he'd
such
go
a
off and
tremendous
grab
anchor that
everything.
day.
I was doing
Yes.
kind of recaps. Don was running the phones and taking phone calls from people.
And through those phone calls, we heard from firefighters who said, we need boots, we need this, we need that. And so man, this is what broadcasting was originally all about. Pardon me for getting a little emotional here, but this was a chance for us to really do some good, to really be of help in an emergency situation.
Well, they tapped us on the shoulder. They said,
Yeah.
you guys get in there because you're the only ones we think. I believe it was Jeremy or Ken that had remembered that we had done the space shuttle thing, and we could handle a serious thing. We weren't going to be shock jocks that day, and so they threw us into that.
They
situation.
ushered us into the studio from Ken's office.
You guys, I'm working off a memory here, but I remember the first day. The phone calls, and I tell people about this as far as the show is concerned. The first day, the phone calls were of a shocking nature. Somebody had just been gut shot.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what was going on. Everybody. The second day was really the sadness of New York, where people were filled with remorse. And then day 3. Do you all remember day 3?
Total mood
Day
shift.
3 was, we're going to get those sons of bitches that did. There was more anger coming out, and that really was... you can say misguided anger that resulted in, not directing it at the right people, and who knows. But the fact is, there were 3 distinct stages. The first day was, oh my God, what's happening? Where are we? What am I going to do? I'm in the dark room and I can't see, and I'm using that figuratively.
Right.
Where, the second day was just, I am so devastated and sad. That was the saddest day of broadcasting.
Yep.
Was that second day, and then the third day was not only anger, but it was also kind of defiance. Screw them. We're going to rise out of this. We're talking about Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Thursday was the day, I believe, was it Thursday or Friday that Bush came to town? I forgot which day it was.
Seems to me, memory serves, it was Thursday.
I think it was Thursday.
There was 3. You're right. And I remember it the same way. Is 3 distinct emotions, and each one of them as strong as the other.
100%.
If you took as how they spread off like a wagon wheel from normal, we were as amazed as we were eventually, as sad as we were, as pissed off.
When you do a show like this, and the one thing that this podcast lacks, that we have capability for it, but we don't have, we don't have the kind of capability that I'd like to have. I'd like to have more easily accessed phones.
Sure.
The blog talk thing that we use in the Skype type of situation,
novelty.
It's not as, and we're we might work on it, but it's also the length of time that we do this show. People, when they go through anything like this collectively, they need the radio to vent. A lot of people need it. They want to get their voice out there. It's just somebody to say, here's how I feel, and I want the world to hear it. That's the service we provided, I thought, more than any other service.
And also, one thing that you talk about, the thing that we don't have that we did have, and that is a collective consciousness and a thing that's happening right now live. And I love the fact that people can listen to us anytime they want. However, that day we were all living that moment at that
together
moment.
And no delays, no tape delays,
and
nothing.
that was perhaps as made it even scarier, but also a little more comforting, because we knew that as soon as we said something or someone said something to us, we were sharing it at that time. We all lived through that together.
Yep.
Personally, for you guys, if I was in that situation, I don't know what you would want to do, because you don't know what's coming next, if there's something else happening or something else is planned.
I was scared.
What do you go through that?
Buzz, were we taking smoke breaks together on the?
Yes, we were. There was a stairwell in the center of the building.
Yeah,
and that we would stand.
That was where we were allowed to smoke.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And Buzz and I would go out on the stairwell, and people asked me, "What did you think that day? What were you thinking about?" And for the very first day, I was thinking about my ass. I was thinking about the fact, and not in that lovely way that I think about.
That's what I was thinking about was your ass.
I thank you. I was thinking literally
in the stairwell. Buzz said, "Move up 2 steps."
You would hear a crank or a noise, and when I look back on it, it was kind of a traumatic shock deal where you're hearing a metallic sound, and you'd kind of take a step back, especially in that stairwell. I remember.
Yeah.
And then when I got over to the old creaky little Essex house, which was a place we didn't stay in. It was not the usual hotel that we stayed in when we were up in New York for the week. So it was an old building, and it made a lot of noise. And I remember saying to myself, okay, they've hit the government. They've hit finance. Now they're going to hit media, and they're either going to hit 30 Rock, or they're going to hit the building that houses the all-news station.
We did think about
WINS.
I had 2 moments that first day that really scared me S-less. And here's a little credit to you. When you told that to me, I was going to say that if you didn't. You said, the next thing they'll hit is media.
I thought so.
Yeah,
and
I thought so
we're
too.
on the news station in New York. And I said, oh, really? I hadn't thought of that. And that really, you really did flip me out. But, we were all also.
I'm glad I could flip you out, Rob.
We came together, not just as a show, but as an organization that day.
Oh,
and
Were you with my group right after that
impressive.
first day?
Yes.
They came across the street. Do you remember? We walked into the lounge, I think, of the Essex House.
Yep. Oh, I do.
We walk into the lounge. Now, Rob, help me out here because this is...
That was after you wanted to go, you wanted to get us distracted, and I wouldn't let you take us to the Wax Museum.
Right.
Because you knew that I hated Wax Museums. You said, that's what we need to do. We need to go to the Wax Museum. I said, no,
Right.
let's get a drink. And you were okay with that.
Right.
So we went to the Essex House bar.
Okay, so we go down. I didn't even know the Wax Museum was on the docket because I thought I wanted a cocktail as soon as I got off the air.
We were out walking around.
We were walking around just to see what was going on. Then we headed back to the Essex House, and it was a group of us. And I remember walking into the lounge, and was there a lady that was ordering like a big gooey dessert?
Yeah, no, it was like a gooey frap drink.
A gooey frap
yeah, like,
drink.
like
and I remember,
something like probably that was a grasshopper or something like that. Something cream based.
We'd gotten done with about 6-7 hours of broadcasting this
Grueling
whole
would
day.
be sort of an understatement.
And I'm looking at her going, Jesus effing. I mean, you're ordering that
Some
thing?
people find comfort in sugar the same way others find it in
but she
butter,
was
I think.
what I recall is she was really precise about it. It was not too minty. Is it horribly
I
minty?
see where you're coming
And
from.
the same
That's
lady
New
came
York,
over. I
yeah.
think the same lady came over to our group, and we had like 4 or 5 people there, and there were 7-8 chairs sitting around this table. And she came over. Are these chairs taken? I said yes.
Yeah.
There's a fourth reaction that's unique to New York, and that is, New York has this reputation of being very tough and very cold, and really, if you have the opportunity to sort of live there, as we sort of did, you end up with a little neighborhood where the store clerk, and so it doesn't seem so cold and impersonal. But the other thing that happened as a New York reaction to all of this was sort of the pulling together and pulling up bootstraps and getting back to work, and the focus in the hospitality industry, restaurants and hotels in particular, you have never seen such friendly, attentive service as the very quiet weeks that followed 9/11 in Manhattan, because people stayed out of Manhattan.
Yeah.
And you were trapped the first week.
Right.
We didn't get out till Friday after the show.
We could not have left. I bet you didn't even know this. We could not have left if we wanted to.
There was no way out.
We got out Friday in a car. That was the only
hired
way.
a car.
Couldn't get a train, couldn't get a plane.
I used to sleep with the windows open in my hotel room because I could, and I came to really like the sound of the backup horns on the trash trucks and the traffic and all that, and I found it very soothing, and it helped me sleep. But I had to start closing the windows as the air became more acrid in New York, and so we finally got to escape that acrid, horrible air, and we rode back in a car. It was a limo, so it would hold all of us. And it filled quickly with cigar smoke. So we went from one kind of horrible smoke to another.
And we came out.
Can I ask who set up the limo? Those are different days.
We had a guy.
Clearly.
It was Richard.
We had
Remember
Richard, our regular driver that picked us up at the airport.
I think the only people he drove for were us and Richie Blackmore from the rock and roll world.
We had a regular driver because we were in that town
Deep
every
Purple.
other week for over a year.
And we had appearances to go to and
and
all
we
of
had
that.
stuff. So we had a regular guy, and he got us out. And the one memory, and Buzz talks about getting emotional, but the most emotional time of the entire week is that we all came through that tunnel together. And then somebody, I don't know which one pointed it out, but take a look back. And we looked back at that skyline.
Yeah, it was gone.
I mean, you look back at that skyline, and it was that I'll never forget as
Radically
long as I live.
different.
And
Forever changed.
everybody in that car, we had a natural moment of silence where we paused because it was so amazing. That was just that wrapped up the week.
Even people who lived across the river, standing next to them in the streets of New York, and they were shaking their heads and saying, "What's happened to our skyline?"
Yeah,
I mean,
it's amazing.
For them, it was a real point of
that
pride.
was the New York skyline. The Trade Center towers were that was the skyline.
Let's just address the families. For example, tonight on Discovery Channel, if you're listening to this on September 11th, Tuesday, 2012, they have a special that's going to be called the 9/11 Surfer. Apparently, one of the survivors who really didn't tell his story till now because he had survivor's guilt and post, PTSD. And he said that he was running down one of the towers as it was collapsing.
It was the North Tower, the second one to fall. Yeah.
16 floors up, and as the rubble went down, he awoke as the building had collapsed, and he realized he had survived the fall.
Wow.
Amazing.
He said his first reaction was that he literally thought he was dead because he fell 16 stories on top of rubble.
Oh, the horror that we all had to accept that day. People jumping out of the towers to their deaths.
Yeah.
Oscar,
Oh, boy.
I saw your jaw drop and your eyes in disbelief because we mentioned that we were literally stuck in the city.
Yes.
We couldn't have left if we wanted to.
There was, just to give you an idea, and I don't know that this would ever be able to happen again, and there was one night, I think it was Wednesday night, that it was so intense watching Peter Jennings with his shirt sleeves rolled up that I just needed out of my hotel room because it was too much.
Yep.
It was just a lot to digest, and I took a walk.
I think a lot of people got that. It just was so, the coverage
and there was
just
no
nonstop.
escape.
And
There was no escape.
We were in the city. It's like, stop.
So
We were part of it.
I went to Times Square, and to let you know how deserted the city was, and this is the honest to God truth, I sneezed, and Times Square echoed.
Wow.
It came back at me.
Canyon.
That's how empty the town was at that time.
I'll tell
And
you,
it was very surreal.
The very first night, we went to I told you about the lady and the frappy drink and stuff. And so after everybody left and everybody went back to their hotel rooms, I walked from Midtown Manhattan down to Ground Zero. Thinking that at that time, because there was not the information, thinking that they actually needed volunteers. And I walked through neighborhoods you would never walk through from, well, let's do the math. I have no idea how many blocks I walked.
It's 90 blocks each way, isn't it?
It was, I thought 60. Somehow I want to say 60 blocks.
Well,
I
you
don't
must
know.
have cut through a few backyards.
I don't know. It just, all I know is I got down there and got down to a perimeter that they had set up, and there was a white shirt, which was one of the officers in the New York Police Department. He said, "We got 10,000 professionals, sir. We don't need any volunteers."
Yeah.
And I turned around and I walked back.
And it's all you could do.
But that was good for you. I mean, it was good that you made that walk because you needed to make that effort. You felt you needed to make that effort.
I did, and it was just a strange event. And then when we got back to Washington, D.C., I remember turning on the radio, and we used to flip through all the different stations, and I remember saying, "Oh, my God, they have traffic reports."
Yeah.
What the hell do they have traffic reports for? Because we were in a city that was paralyzed. We were in a city that was literally completely the most powerful city in America, completely and totally shut down. And it's just I'll never forget it. I think that anybody that was involved with it, I hope they continue to do this year after year, so some people can be aware of what that tragedy really was.
Do you remember? And I think it was either Tuesday or Wednesday night. There was some unfounded reports that the Empire State Building was going to be attacked.
Yes,
and
terrifying.
And I don't know why I landed on ABC coverage that whole week, but I did.
Well, Peter was still alive.
Peter was still alive. He was handling it. And I really got to a point, Oscar, when I was putting on shoes and socks and getting ready to run into Central Park because I feared for my life. Wow. And I'm not the kind of person that is a reactionary to stuff like that. But it was such a climate of terror.
You had a collective traumatic stress that enveloped an entire city and really a couple of cities and whoever had people connected to that. Everybody in New York kind of was worried about their own ass.
When you look back on it, do you balance the horror and terror of it all with the way the city and the nation came together? Because I do.
Yeah.
And it definitely softens it.
All part
Do you
of the
remember
same thing.
when we would sit in a restaurant, everybody would try to get outside seating at a restaurant because we wanted to
that Italian place.
We wanted to applaud the firefighters when they would come by.
And we did.
And you
Everyone
would see
did.
people, everybody at a restaurant would applaud as they would drive
Salute,
by.
applaud.
I mean, I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. Like firefighters on trucks just going there, and you would see them head to toe.
Caked.
Covered with dust.
Oh, yeah.
Those same guys that are probably experiencing the health effects
50
to
kinds
this
of
day.
cancer today.
Yeah, amazing.
When we came back and things were forever changed, and I knew that as we talk about it 11 years later, obviously it's changed us all. Was there any event that when you finally went and knew that you were clear of the imminent danger of being in New York?
When we came through that tunnel.
The tunnel was what it did for you?
Yeah, I was worried. Driving through the tunnel, I didn't share this, but I've been driving through the tunnel. I'm like, okay, well, I hope they don't set something off in this tunnel to cause the tunnel to
I'm not saying this to be brave. I may be saying it because I am stupid, but I don't remember being scared. I was initially concerned that the next strike would be a media center, But for me, the fear, I just felt like it was, okay, well, it's over. I mean, within a couple of days, I felt like...
You're alone there.
Yeah, no, I think I am. And again, that may be stupidity
this
that I shouldn't be sharing.
This is the same guy that feels cocky after almost dying in the hospital.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
You process things
I
in a
laugh
weird
in the
way.
face of death.
Yeah, he's going to get scared in about 5 more years. It's going to sink in.
Yikes.
I told you that my kids, Julia, I only had Julia then. Julia was 9 months old, and Carrie and her sister were in Iowa, and it was the following week. And they were coming into BWI, and I drove up there, and when I held them, and I knew that we were finally together again, and it took me a long time to put Julia down that night.
Yeah, you got 3 guys. You can see 3 guys that we do this because it is post-traumatic stress to a certain level. It really, really is.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm sure the people listening right now appreciate you
and what we did was never approached what so many others did.
We're all such big babies.
We are.
No.
But you know what? We can and we should be proud of the work that we did on the air that week, because I really think we did a service there.
There are people today, especially the younger generation, kids that are in high school now, that are just learning, that really are really, when as you get older and you go through school, you realize the magnitude of what has happened. When you're a child, you're sheltered or protected by your parents, and as you get older, you really learn what this was all about.
Right.
And whether there's somebody that's listening in college right now, or maybe somebody that's listening that's older and is able to tell their kids about it, they should tell them how important this day was and how it changed really the landscape of the American dream and how we live our lives.
What I just said, I didn't even realize until this moment. It never really came to me that Robert wasn't born yet.
Right.
And you saw, runs together. You see how mature and what a little guy he is now when he was at the hockey classic.
Right. It's amazing they're kids that weren't alive.
It's not, it's not yet time for me to burden him with this.
Right.
But there is going to have to be a time when I sit him down and I explain it all.
Yeah.
Because lest we forget, man, it's too big a deal.
It's, as I said, to wrap this whole thing up again, though, the nicest thing about it and one of the best things about it, through all that horror, through all that tragedy, there was really I can't emphasize it enough. There was that feeling that we were all in this together.
Yep.
That there were not the political lines were obscured. Now it didn't take long before that.
No.
They showed the picture of George Bush in the school, and that I thought was unfair to him, where he's getting this information and then he's processing it.
Right.
I thought that was completely unfair to George W. Bush,
I think
the way
was.
they did that. But for a moment there were no politics. There, everybody just got together and really realized that we're Americans, and screw those people that did this to us. We're gonna get through this.
It seemed to me we ditched politics for a couple days when Obama was elected too, but we always seem to get back to the petty, because I think it's more fun.
Speaking
for
of that,
people.
I got a funny story about that. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll get back on the program today. Where's the new TV? I'll ask Buzz about that.
All right.
The hell of the new TV show?
They're sneaking in.
I thought perhaps you ordered one.
It's the fall. Let me see.
Amazon.
Romney Meanies. I don't like the Romney Meanies. I want to talk about that a little bit. And let me see. Oscar's World.
Oh,
he
good.
seems like he's got a little extra spring in his step.
Really? Let's find out about
my
that.
observation.
Not at all.
Okay. We'll take a break. Come right back.
Give me a sign and catch my breathing even closer behind.
All right, folks, I told you that I would be honest with you about it. Day one of the back on the program again. I mentioned yesterday that I was as heavy as I had gotten in my life. I'm happy to say that now, today, one day later, I am lighter than the last time I was the heaviest.
Wow.
So that's a good thing.
I genuinely expected when I came in for you to growl at me today.
No, I'm fine.
And you look like you're doing good.
I've got kind of a low-grade headache.
And you will for another day or so.
The toxins are coming out of my body a mile a minute, but I'm doing really well, and I have lost about 3.5 pounds in one day.
Holy
In a
mackerel.
day.
So that's this. You fast. I will be honest with you on the Wait Not program, but it's terrific. I've had 3 or 4 exchanges with Christy, my counselor over at Wait Not, and I'm really happy.
And be
about
clear,
it.
you only fast for 48 hours.
Now,
and you get supplements. It's
a
not
fast
impossible.
fast.
Yeah.
For the purposes of putting more pressure on me with this, I will tell you, Carla is taking a photograph of me every single day.
Oh, that is awesome.
Worst.
How do you feel about that plan?
I hate it.
Worst
I hate it now.
flip book ever.
Oh, the worst.
I
Same
hate
place.
this cartoon.
Next to that clock there. I got another testimonial from Becky. She writes, Mike, I admire you for talking about your battle with weight loss. Well, all the guys have done that. Your fans are rooting for you. Take advantage of the moral support. Thanks for your show. My fiance Monty and I, Monty.
Monty.
They joined Wait Not and also worked with Christy. Between the two of us, whoa, they lost 240 pounds. That's
true.
Wow.
Awesome.
Support from our family.
The wife
friends.
lost 10.
The Wait Not staff at TMOS was instrumental in our success. When people ask about the weight loss, we always give you the nod for getting us started with Wait Not. You've really changed our lives for the best. Hugs, Becky from Maryland. Thank you very much.
Nice job, Beck.
It's 855-WAIT-NOT, 855-934-4486, waitnot.com. Unbelievable results you can believe in, and I'll have another update tomorrow. I'm going to hate those days because you have flat days.
You have flat. You know what you're going to have to do, Mike? You're going to have an occasional Apple day. You have to read about them in the binder because
Rob's
they
all
were.
about his Apple day.
Yeah, and just before we close the book on it, I did
Yes.
something I never did last night. I did 50 minutes on the elliptical.
Yay!
Ooh, nice.
Wow.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's very weird. But
Possessed.
He's got his new bun, his new chick. He's got to work out for.
Oh, God, I hate it when you do that. You stole that from me. Incidentally.
you stole it from Bob Hope.
Thank you. Where is the new TV?
It's sneaking in this fall.
It's
and
crap.
You know what? I want to.
It's crap.
You gotta get Amazon Prime.
I sat there Sunday night. Sunday night, it's the opening of the football season. We're supposed to have new television.
There was
shows
one
on.
new show last
What?
night. It's I think it's a ripoff of Modern Family. I recorded it. I haven't
Is it
watched
Go
it yet.
On?
No, it's
The New Normal?
No, it's the new normal.
Normal.
That's
And
what it
also
is.
there was Go On, the Matthew Perry show.
right. And
Which,
I've
by
seen
the
it.
way, it's exactly what you'd think it would be.
They're starting to
no.
trip.
I like it.
Of course you like it.
God, you're such a douchebag.
But here's what the deal is.
You watch the new Matthew Perry show?
I will. I'll
they
check it out.
They actually had a free, even before it hit the airwaves, a pre-roll on iTunes, and I ordered it. I said, "Well, I'll watch a free show with Matthew Perry."
It was funny.
and I enjoyed it.
Really?
Could be. I'm going to check it out.
You know what?
Sitcoms. I don't like
He's
sitcoms.
gonna love
You're
it.
gonna hate it because
You're gonna hate it.
His character plays a sports talk radio host.
Oh well. See now I'm
wait,
soured a bit.
It gets better, Mike. It gets better. He's a sports talk radio host with issues.
Super duper.
And you know what?
Don't
Even
they
though he's
all?
got a gruff exterior, he cares for the other people in his help group.
And
Lick
if you
it.
hate Jim Rome, you're gonna hate this show.
Okay.
I actually watched it and then went out and purchased a pistol.
Look, I did a new fall preview segment last year, and I might do one this year, but it's going to be different because none of us really watch TV in the same way. You know, Oscar mentioned Amazon Prime, which of course we highly recommend,
Yes.
especially if you go through our website. But there are
What
so
sort
many.
of service would that be?
It's video. It's TV shows and movies.
No, Mike. It's an escort service.
Yes.
And you can either pay per view or you can get an Amazon Prime membership and watch most of it for
How
free.
do I hook it up to my TV?
Well, you just you just plug the computer into the TV.
Where's that portal?
I'll help you find that.
You know what?
hole.
I bet
Very
you can use Apple TV to do it.
Somebody stole my Apple TV.
What?
What?
I don't know. I was looking for it the other day. I haven't used it. I used it once after
you're
I
the
got it.
same guy that said somebody stole your charger and it was plugged into the wall.
Sorry.
That was 2 years ago.
I'll look today. Isn't my Apple TV is out at the kitchen TV?
I think. Do you think maybe El Cleaning Woman took it?
No, stop that.
Well, I'm
God.
trying to think who else would do it.
I don't know. I just
He had
gotta
an
see
Apple
where I
day.
Can
got
I
He
go
ate it.
check if it's there? Can
Yeah,
I just
go,
really
go.
check?
Yeah, you go look. But I will say we all
I
watch.
didn't see it.
Someone stole
We all
my
watch
Apple
TV, differently now. Nobody watches things at the time that they're on. We record them and watch them at our convenience. So
Right.
I'm going to take a different tack and keep that in mind if and when I do a fall preview segment. this
You
year.
should, because you're very methodical about the way you watch TV.
But you can't
nobody
have a
else is.
schedule.
TV,
anymore.
Mike. TV is like podcasting. It's entertainment at your schedule.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's why we're the
Yeah.
future.
But do you remember?
We're the future.
I sometimes chuckle at things that the kids will never understand, like a long distance phone call. Kids will never understand
came
that.
back awfully quickly.
And you know what my kids will never understand? A TV guide.
Is it there?
Yes, it's right here.
Oh my God!
Oh, you know what? He did steal it.
Yes.
Now I see why he went out to look
He
for
went
it.
out to his car to get it.
He said, he caught me, and I'm going to go pretend it's still
he
out there."
take it?
I think he took it.
No, I didn't
No,
take
he
it.
didn't
It was
take
so
it.
easily accessible. I brought it in here.
And now, is that
Really?
an Apple TV, or are you waiting for a table at Applebee's?
That
Because it looks like
yeah.
one of
It
those
does.
things
It
they
was
handed out
literally
like
sitting in back of your TV.
All right, so I can put my computer in there, and what's the Amazon thing?
Amazon
Prime.
Oh God, so busy.
Mike, can I blow your mind just quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Can you?
the movie industry, clearly they're not making the dollars they were making years ago.
Right.
That's maybe because movies suck.
That's right.
Yeah, and going to the movies for some people they hate, right?
I love the experience.
Yeah, you and I love it.
Yeah.
I like the snacks.
What's happening?
I'm sorry.
Stop.
Withdrawn.
And I had heard this, but I didn't know for sure that this was actually happening. Movie companies.
Rob knows the moment I just had. Sorry, I got to stop you.
You just tapped out?
No, because I've been doing I hadn't even thought, but then I thought all of a sudden movies, and I realized that the popcorn.
Buttered popcorn.
That's it. Stop it.
Mike just had almost the equivalent of a wet dream about Junior Mints.
Okay, go ahead.
That's not butter.
So you can watch movies that are going to hit the theaters or that are in theaters now. Now, maybe not some of the blockbusters, but you can watch them in your house.
Movie house ones.
For $20. No, not movie house ones.
Like not even independent
Snow
deals?
White and the Huntsman right now is on iTunes before it hits theaters, and if you want to buy it, you can buy it for $20, and you can watch it in your home.
Or you can rent it, I think, for less even.
You can rent it, but they don't let you rent it until it's after.
But they have TV shows and as well as movies.
Yeah,
It's
but
a lot going on.
run movies,
Really,
now available.
Kind of
It's
like
sick.
it's kind of like your Spectravision in a
Yes.
in a hotel room when you get
Spectravision.
Yeah, that's right.
So, like, if you go to Vegas or you go to Atlantic City, you can actually watch movies that are still in the theater. Reno.
Very good. All right.
And you can watch them now at home.
All right, so I'm going to play with that today. I got to hook it up to my main TV in my room, the room that I just got to
Upstairs?
figure out. No, downstairs in the
I can
the
do
den.
that right after the show. To make,
Can
take me
you
2
really?
seconds.
Oh, yeah. It's
Really?
very fast.
2 seconds.
It's pretty
It's got like
complicated.
2 wires.
Complicated.
It's 2 wires.
No, but if you go into the back of my receiver,
Yes.
I got the Xbox hooked up.
You're fine. Do you
I
have
got-
an HDMI in that is not used yet?
Maybe not.
No.
Or you'll have something.
Mike,
we'll
Then
fix it.
you're losing your Xbox, my friend.
Okay.
Mike, you'll be fine. I'm
Okay.
telling
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's going to be fine.
Thank you very much. Can I just say something about this?
What is this?
Can I say this about that? As
Yes,
Richard Nixon used to say.
I'd like that.
This guy, the pizza store owner, okay,
The hugger.
did you hear what
Papa
they
John's?
Did you hear what they did to this guy? The
Yes.
video, the
The hate.
viral video that the guy hugs the president and lifts him up.
Saw that.
And then
Yes.
people just go to the website that rate his restaurant and give him terrible reviews on his food and stuff because
Right.
Why?
because they're Romney supporters.
Oh.
And
And they
they're
were
mad.
pissed off that he was lifting up the
These are the
president.
meanies that you're
The
talking
meanies.
about?
And they're especially mad because he is a Republican.
He's a Republican.
A turncoat.
yeah.
He's a
Turncoat.
Republican who
How
voted
dare
for
he.
Obama. He said he's going to vote for Obama
Benedict Arnold.
again. And so they went and they sabotaged the food review websites for this guy. And then the backlash hit a backlash, and all the other people that were Obama supporters came back. But it's just like,
It should be easy to filter out because most Romney fans don't eat pizza.
We've politicized
They're
pizza.
mostly fans of steak
Have
and
you-
Wellington.
Mike, you're an avid reader, and
Not as much as you might think.
But
I read
you-
a lot of magazines. I don't read a lot of books.
He doesn't know a lot of the words.
I like to listen to books. But I don't think you have the same experience as you would when you
We're
read
sorry.
them.
Right?
And
You don't.
no, but there is a book that Woodward just came out with.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he talks about how
Is this the debt crisis
the
book?
debt crisis? Yes,
Right.
And I saw a piece on it last night on Nightline. And I was blown away because we all kind of knew what happened, how the country was on the brink of defaulting on its loans,
Right.
and how our credit got downgraded, and the politics behind that.
Right.
But he went in and decided to find out what really happened, and he talked to the Speaker of the House, he talked to President Obama, and they have excerpts from the actual interviews. And all it came down to, and both sides were at fault, was I feel, and this is my humble estimation, and this is maybe a book that I'm actually going to read and not listen to, because while I'm not a political wonk, what upsets me is at the end game for all of this is just egos.
Oh, yeah.
And politics, but
Sure.
egos really almost ruined
Bravado.
this country.
If there is one career more than something in show business that we're still holding on by the skin of our teeth, but more than show business that is an ego-driven occupation, it's politics.
Oh,
it is people that are striving
I
and
would
doing
go-
everything they can to have people approve of them.
I would go so far as to say it's more so.
Yeah,
I think that,
but I'd say that
you know,
I'd say that some broadcasters and some showbiz types
Oh, sure.
are similar, but politics takes it to the next level because then it's, oh my God, you have to like me and vote for me and, support me.
And you're talking about like when the Republicans walked away from the table, then the Democrats walked away from the table, and how it was just this BS going on.
And Woodward comes out and says, because they're like, look, isn't this political ammunition for the Republican Party? Is this, what's the timing of this book? He said, no. He's like, I clearly state in the book that it was both their faults.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the Boehner,
True.
the Republicans, and President Obama, the Democrats,
and Pelosi.
But this is the thing.
yeah, Pelosi.
He said they just couldn't put what their personal interests aside for the country's interests.
Buzz, do you have anything about this in the news? Because I have a tape I'd like to play that I was going to do in the vault, but it fits here.
I have some thoughts.
Do you want to do it when we get there? Because we're up on a break here.
No, I can do it in the vault then.
All right, we will take a break. We will come back with Rob's Magic Audio Vault. You're listening to the 9/11 Mike O'Mara Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. Rob's Magic Audio Vault brought to you by Score Big. We talk about it all the time. A better way to get those tickets that you want so big, it's called scorebig.com. They work with the teams, they work with the promoters, they work with ticket providers, and they give you an opportunity to save 10 to 60% on your favorite team, whether it's baseball, NFL, NBA, college. Listen to this. They've got Redskins and RG3 all season long. They've got the Washington Nationals, the baseball, the drive for the playoffs. You can get great tickets from them. USC Trojans football, Michigan football, auto racing. It really, there's just no limit to what you can get there. Tickets at scorebig.com are always below box office price, guaranteed. Go to scorebig.com and enter the code TMOS at checkout and save at least $30 below box office price on your first purchase.
And you've been doing it.
Kyra Schuster says she saved more than 60% on Nats Braves tickets. 100 level, row 12 behind first base. I want those. She says...
those are next to me. I'll see her there.
Listen to this.
With the TMOS code... Are you ready for this?
Yes.
This is getting into Spiewak territory.
Yes.
No, Spiewak territory is 00.
Yeah,
right.
And I want some food too.
She paid about $25 a ticket.
That's essentially free.
SCOREBIG, scorebig.com. Go to them and check them out. All right, and now let's get to the man who led his children into the prize closet at the Hockey Classic, and I felt like I was looking at a family of piranha.
They did not take anything, though. Very well, but they browsed.
They didn't take anything because I was there.
They browsed. You
would have had a satchel full of stuff.
Actually, the thing about that prize, that the prizes there,
you were such a hump to me that day.
I don't know what happened.
You know what? I gave Robert my jersey, my personal jersey from the Hockey Classic, and Rob says, "We've got a seam ripper at home. That's okay,
That
Robert."
was a joke.
I know you,
Jesus.
hump. You hump.
And you know what?
What?
Those kids could not walk around that arena without someone giving them some sort of gift. So they had no need to steal or pilfer.
It was a lot of fun. All right, let's get to the audio.
Talked about this. Obama's talking to the dazzling Scott Pelley last night because Bob Woodward said that he was so upset. Obama was so upset when Boehner finally said, "No, I'm sorry, the debt deal's not going to go through." He said he slammed the phone down so hard that he nearly broke the receiver. I mean, he was that upset.
Then Scott Pelley moved his jaw around.
That's right, and fixed the phone with his jaw. Yeah. But here's Obama answering to the fact whether or not he broke the phone in anger.
I don't know if I was going to break the receiver. I wasn't happy. Yes, I was frustrated, but that's behind us. And the question now is, how do we move forward?
Not a denial. But I want to leave this. I love when a broadcaster is just caught with their pants down.
Okay.
And this is made funnier. Stop it, you. This is made funnier because he's got a Carl Pilkington-like accent.
Okay.
This, from what I can tell, is like British ESPN. And they're going to a rugby game. Rugby games where you get the card, right?
Right.
You get the red card. So he goes to the rugby game to the sideline reporter. Sideline reporter might not have his S together.
Put Oldham in front against Gillingham, alone from Doncaster Rovers, and Doncaster themselves have scored against Plymouth. They're on the brink of the playoffs at the moment. James Coppinger has got that goal. And we're off to Fratton Park, where there's been a red card. But for who, Chris Kamara?
I don't know, Jeff, has there? I must have missed that. Red card.
Chris, have you not been watching? I haven't. I don't know where that's come from, Chris. I have no idea what has happened there. What's happened, Chris?
That was honest.
I don't know, Jeff. I don't know. The rain must have got in my eyes, Jeff.
Well, Chris, let me tell you, according to our sources, Anthony Van Den Boer has been sent off for a second bookable offence. Get your fingers out and count up the number of Portsmouth players who are on the field.
No, you're right. I saw him go off, but I thought they were bringing a sub on, Jeff.
That's professionalism, Kelly.
That is professionalism. I love that.
It's the Pilkington accent.
The accent makes it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Don't know what's going on.
But in America, we have the best sportscasters in the world, like your favorite, Mike, Chris Berman.
Oh, God.
Who just on Monday Night Football, it's, I think, the 89th season of Monday Night Football.
Right.
He sounded like he's really got his ass together. He sounds so skinny.
Beautiful look at the O.Co Coliseum. I can't do it. It's a beautiful look at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. I feel better.
I feel better hearing you say it.
I hate him.
Dude,
I really
problem
do.
anyway.
He ruined me with the home run derby.
Yeah, I know. Because he brings nothing to it.
He took one home run derby and he did the back on every single home run, and I was ready to kill him by the end.
But there is one person that I like maybe even less than him, and that is the guy whoever does the stadium announcing. I think the game was in Oakland last night. This is the Art Modell moment of silence. I want you to hear the very end of this, the PA guy. Not my favorite.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to rise at this time to honor the life of Art Modell with a moment of silence followed by our national anthem. Thank you, Art. We love you.
That was so hilarious.
So bad.
Thank you, Art. We love you.
And you know, that is not an easy gig. I got to do the moment of silence for Walter Payton when I was working for the Redskins, and it's a tough gig, but you don't want to say, we love you.
You know the guy, the PA guy, seriously, that I truly respect?
Who?
A guy that puts his body on the line every single game, and that's the guy we hung out with, Wes Johnson.
Oh, God.
He does. Your Washington Capitals.
The best.
He literally puts his... You think his head's going to explode. I worry about Wes.
Yeah.
You see Wes.
Yeah.
Wes does not, he's like me. He's as healthy as I am.
Yeah.
And I look at Wes, and I'm just like, you're Washington, and then the top of his head is just going to go, help me.
Speaking of announcers who put their health on the line, Robert ran into me this morning, and Robert watches the first half of Monday Night Raw and Monday night, and then he gets up early and watches the second half in the morning. He says, Dad, what? Jerry passed out. Jerry had a heart attack.
Jerry Lawler.
I said, Jerry Lewis? He said, no, Jerry Lawler.
Jerry Lawler had to be taken away.
And Mike,
Jerry Lewis.
We wish him the best.
Jerry the King Lawler.
Jerry the King Lawler.
And the amazing thing is,
my era of wrestling.
He actually was in a match last night.
Really?
Because they did a Twitter vote to see.
65 years old.
I think he's 62. They did a voting thing on Twitter where who was CM Punk going to take on last night? Was it going to be Randy Orton? Was it going to be Jerry the King Lawler? And eventually they all ended up in the ring.
Of course.
And so he wrestled, and then this was really awkward because this is a pretty slick show, and then Michael Cole comes back after a match and makes this announcement.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you noticed that Jerry Lawler hasn't been active in the past couple of matches. A little bit earlier tonight, Jerry passed out here at ringside. Jerry collapsed and was helped to the back. He was stretchered to the back to the locker room area, and we understand now that Jerry is receiving medical attention as we speak. They are performing CPR. And again, this is not part of tonight's entertainment.
It's not?
This has happened. And again, Jerry Lawler collapsing at ringside tonight, and
did he make it?
CPR as we speak.
He is
he's stable.
Responding well, and he's stable this morning. Yeah.
It kind of indicates to you that whole deal with professional wrestling, you make an announcement like that, and where does the BS begin and the reality end?
I
mean, he did
it,
but I mean, you could have easily thought Jerry Lawler passed out.
I second guessed it until I went through the entire broadcast, and so there was no coverage of it.
Right.
If they were doing it as a gimmick, and they are pretty slick in
They
their
would have played it
presentation,
up.
they would have played it up. And I think the key word there is this is not a part of tonight's entertainment.
There's also there's a precedent for this because in the past they've had accidents happen,
right?
Where people have died.
Yeah, where
the
chairs,
and you know what?
Or the zip line.
It's really not my cup of tea, save for the fact that Robert loves wrestling so much, so I'm forced to watch a few hours of it every week.
Right.
I think it is a good program for the kids, and I wish him all the best because he seems like a good guy.
Does he appear any more violent after he watches wrestling?
Robert, no,
Okay,
he appears to want more free swag.
He's such a sweet kid.
Because
he is a sweet little boy. He really is.
Because Chad's such an enthusiast. for wrestling.
Right.
We've been to
Chad goes nuts over
a couple
right?
WrestleManias, and we got a chance to hang out with some of these guys, and they're just entertainers like we are.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Let me ask you a question about your radio partner.
Yes.
Chad Dukes. Would Chad? Do you think who is? Give me one. Give me a couple of his favorites.
John Cena.
John Cena.
It's my favorite.
All right, John Cena. If John Cena said, come away with me. You will tour with me. I will pay you what you're getting paid currently.
Yes.
And you will, live in my entourage, and you will be with me all the time.
Yeah.
Would he live? Would he leave Queen Dukes now?
Queen Dukes. Yeah.
Would he leave her?
I can't speak for him, but I will say as a friend,
yes,
that he would find a way to bring her along.
There you go.
Okay, very good.
So the answer, Mike?
Very diplomatic.
The answer, yes.
Yes.
Tampa Bay, this was a Yankees game. They were on WCBS. This
Devil
is
Rays.
This is a
I still call them the Devil Rays.
This is a radio call. Their play-by-play guy is John Sterling. Apparently his sidekick is a chick. I didn't know that. But something happened that doesn't happen very often. Foul ball hits his microphone.
Well, here's a 3-1. Swung on and pop foul back.
Good one, John. Knock over. Landed right on our desk. How's your microphone?
It hit right on the mic, knocked the mic over, and I got a baseball in my hands.
Yes, you do.
Way to go, Robbie. So it'll be a 3-2. I quickly got out of the way.
A lot of thrilling broadcasters.
Look, there are two schools.
Yes.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to go
I'll
there.
say it. Women don't belong.
No.
in
I agree. I agree.
Did you hear her reaction?
No, hold on. I'm talking about the dude. The dude's at fault here.
He sounds great.
He
John
sounds
Sterling.
like a douche.
Yeah, little excitement.
No,
I mean,
you have the guys that are that can roll with it and really make something special.
Have fun
and I
with
will
it.
give it. And then you have
that's
the
a
guys
really
that are,
once in a lifetime thing you can have
you
fun with.
just have guys that are like, oh no, yes, I can't get out of my
Yeah, but could
standard.
you play that
Larry
again?
Slows,
Please.
Charlie Slows.
Well, here's a 3-1.
Yeah.
Swung on.
Well,
and
there
pop
I am.
foul
That's all
back.
I am. That's all I am.
But listen.
All right, first of all, nothing.
She says, "Good one, John."
Knock over.
She's
Landed
a
right
C.
on our desk. How's your microphone?
It hit right on the mic, knocked the mic over, and I got a baseball in my hands.
Yes, you
Okay,
do.
stop it right there. All he's capable of doing is telling you exactly what happened
without any
because he does not possess the intellectual capacity. I'm going to tell you this right now. Well, it hit the microphone, knocked it over, and the ball landed in my hand. 2 outs right now on the bottom of the phone. That's what he's. That's
Right.
all he
I
can
agree.
do.
He may be a dullard.
How about John Miller?
The woman next to him
John
isn't
Miller.
any better.
Oh, the woman's worse because she's a woman.
Put John Miller. You shut up a minute. You're not hearing my point. Put John Miller or Vin Scully or Don Orsillo or Jerry Remy in a situation like that.
Or the gold standard when something funny happens, the way Madden will do it.
Yes.
And stay with it for the entire game.
Precisely. This guy. It hit the microphone.
She was the
and went
first.
into my hand.
She was the first to acknowledge that it hit the mic.
She was funny.
Does that now rank up there with the football hitting the goalpost?
Oh, you mean
as
like
far as the sound?
you
the
mean
gonk?
like at the San Francisco 49ers game when Vernon Davis converted 2 points and went to slam dunk the ball over the upright,
Like that.
but not making it, and instead being owned by the goalpost and making the gonk? You mean like this?
Smith. Pass is caught by Vernon Davis for the touchdown. And a conversion on 3rd and goal by San Francisco. And Davis is reaching.
He couldn't quite slam dunk it. Oh, and what a great time to be in America, Mike. 3 new television shows yesterday. I want to play the opens of all of them because they all suck equally. The premiere yesterday of The Jeff Probst Show.
Jeff Probst.
All right, a little about me. I'm recently married. I work
Hold
with
on,
my
wait.
wife on
Is
this
it Jeff
show.
Pope?
No, Jeff Probst, the guy from Survivor.
All right, so it's Probst.
Okay, and also, Mike, yesterday the premiere of The Katie Show with Katie Couric. Great time to be alive, especially when you get a chance to turn on the television and watch the new Ricky Lake Show. Here we go.
Who wins?
Nobody wins. Everyone loses.
All right.
Someone's got to win.
Jeff Probst works his ass off. The Survivor guy.
Yeah.
Well-known commodity. He's been on the Regis and Kelly Lee.
Yeah.
He does a great job with that. He's a broadcaster. You see a lot of him. I'm fine. Give him a shot.
He'll be gone in 9 months.
We'll see what happens.
6.
That's fine. Then you get Katie Couric. Katie is Katie. She's hosted the Today Show. She's been an anchorwoman at CBS.
It's like
Give her a
shoots,
show.
but it's shoots and ladders
How
for her.
the F does Ricky Lake get reincarnated? How does that happen?
I have no idea. Maybe she's still coasting on the success when she was the neighbor on. Wasn't she the neighbor on King of Queens for
I
a
just
while?
remember her for the fat girl in that
Hairspray.
John Waters.
This is
Hairspray.
strictly
Yeah,
based on her first
but
show. I
look,
think.
Anderson Cooper's talk show, a
Yes.
fledgling. Unfortunately, he's a great anchor.
Is that
does a great
is
job
that still on
CNN? He's fledgling. But then you look at all these. I think Katie Couric
Not fledgling.
wins.
It's the wrong word.
What's the word?
Because you confused
Struggling?
me there. He's struggling.
What's fledgling?
He's
Fledgling
flailing.
means it's your first
like
time
a
out, right?
baby
He's
duck.
struggling.
Yeah.
He's fledgling, flailing, fliggling.
He's ogling.
There's
He's
another
drowning.
word.
Floundering.
He's floundering.
Mm. I learned
like
something
fish.
new today. Well, he's floundering. Katie's going to win.
I think
You're
I
right.
agree. Katie,
Yes.
Katie
You're
wins
right.
out of
Better
those two.
broadcaster. Okay,
We
and I
agree.
close with this. Did you watch any of the SEAL interviewed on,
Watch the
on
whole
60
thing.
Minutes?
Yeah.
Mark Owen with his amazing makeup.
Scary makeup.
Yeah, because they made him look like a real person, but a different guy. And they changed his voice.
And I came away, he softened me on the original position I had where I was angry. I was riveted to the details of it. I had to pay attention.
One
I'm
detail
guilty.
that really surprised me is what the SEAL did immediately after they killed bin Laden.
We got on a bus. They drove us back to work. I didn't even go in. They told us we had a couple days off, and I grabbed my keys, went and got in my truck, and I hit Taco Bell on the way home, hit the drive-through, a couple tacos, and ate it in my car right there, and then drove home.
So you kill OBL and you get some tacos. I just thought that was surprising. There's Conan's take on that very story.
One of the Navy SEALs was speaking, who was involved in the bin Laden raid, and he said the first thing he did when he got home was go to Taco Bell. Yeah. So apparently bin Laden wasn't the only one that night who his pants.
And that, Mike, that is your magic audio vault.
Good job, Rob.
That's a good dirty joke.
Yeah.
We'll take a break. Come right back with Buzz and News right after those. Conan gets those little zingers out every now and then.
He's on cable, you see.
That's not bad. Let's get Buzz in here right now. Very busy day in the news.
Sure
Take it
is.
away, Buzz Burbank.
Thank you, Mike. We're brought to you today by Encore Insurance Services,
Encore!
LLC, official sponsor of our live stage show November 10th at Circus in Reno. Oscar tried Encore and loved it.
Yeah, I did. You know what's great about Encore is they really, when you go and actually ask them for help, one person deals with you the whole time. They walk you through it.
Love that.
They take everybody that's involved within their services and they bring you their options and then you decide.
It's like days of old. You actually have an agent. That's
do.
so great.
It's a lot of fun.
To get yourself a free quote, just visit smartturn.com or call 866-347-5748. They'll do all the work for you. Encore will compare rates to help you save.
Super easy.
I say this often about Encore, and the fact is they are such a fine partner of our show.
Amen.
They help us with these trips to Reno. We wouldn't be out there without the help from Encore. Please, it's a partnership we have with a lot of these advertisers, and the people at Encore really step up for our major events.
We're very proud of our relationship with them and for their support of this show. Licensing and disclaimer info at smartturn.com.
Encore!
Now, yesterday, we opened with the most important thing about our longest war, the war in Afghanistan, namely the lives lost. But there are also countless billions of dollars that were spent and all too often wasted. A new report, just out yesterday, says the U.S. and NATO cannot account for about $475 million thrown at buying fuel for the Afghan army. We don't even know how many vehicles or generators we were trying to fuel. We've also spent big bucks on construction. Nothing significant has been built with that money.
They need Quicken.
Nothing.
They need Quicken.
You have a phone. You have a congressman.
QuickBooks.
You
Yeah,
have
something.
a Facebook page. Another big part of the Obama foreign policy, though, has been quite simple. Kill the bad guys. A drone strike took out Al-Qaeda's number 2 man in Yemen yesterday.
Got another
and
one.
6
That's good.
members of his terrorist posse. The Navy SEAL who wrote that book on the killing of Osama bin Laden may very well be punished for it. Defense Secretary Leon Panetta says his people are still reviewing what in the book may be classified as they look for violations.
And I think it goes beyond that, beyond what is classified and what is not.
does.
I think it's the code. And
Yeah.
most of the
Yes.
SEALs you will talk about the code. You don't do this.
You can't.
When you sign up for it, first of all, you do sign papers about non-disclosure.
First rule of Fight Club.
And it just sucks that he did it.
Panetta also says that if we let this guy get away with profiting from our secrets, that opens the door for a lot more of that by a lot of other people.
I can't hear the name Panetta without laughing because Letterman has been doing a thing whenever he he makes up a fake television show. He always puts it on CBS Tuesday nights after Panetta. And they show a picture of Leon Panetta like he's Columbo or something.
I like that guy, though. I like Panetta.
If you get a chance, Leon Panetta, I don't want to be on his bad side.
No.
Leon Panetta is one super smart guy. Beware of that guy. But I do want to say something about, silly old Joe, that everybody makes fun of Joe Biden.
Walked in on the speech and you're watching it today.
Joe Biden gave a speech at the Flight 93 Memorial up in the Somerset County, Pennsylvania, and was one of the most sensitive speeches given to mourning families that I've, and I think it might be because Joe has lived through his own personal tragedy that way with his family, with his family losing his wife and his children.
I saw the last 2 minutes with you, and what struck me is that it was the sincerity of his tone.
Truly sincere.
And also, they had the teleprompters up, and never once did he even glance at them.
He might have been, Rob. He might have been doing
I don't
it well.
know. It looked,
I'm not sure.
What I saw,
right.
He honestly appeared to be speaking from his heart. And you know what? He doesn't have the reputation of a slick guy. I'm not sure he could pull it if it wasn't
I just
really
worry
sincere.
when you say that somebody would say immediately go, "Oh, he really was looking. It was a prepared text."
Well, then I'm an idiot. But that's what I pulled away from.
It really was.
It seems sincere to me.
He was so. He made some statements about grief and how you remember the families and how you go about doing that. I'm all about that. When I write to somebody who's lost a loved one, the last person I did it was for Omarosa, who lost Michael Clark Duncan.
Right, his funeral
and
was
I always
yesterday.
talk about the fact that his spirit will live in your heart forever. It will never be the same, but it will get better with time, because I do believe that. Because that's in my own losing my father. That was my own experience. He had so much more than that. I urge everybody, if you get a chance to hear Biden's speech today at the Flight 93 Memorial. Do I have the flight number right? The Flight 93.
Yes, 93 is correct.
So check it out.
A Gallup poll asked voters how they would rate the two political conventions just ended. The Democratic convention got slightly higher marks, and the bump that has given to the Democratic candidate is also slight but unquestionable. Obama's job approval rating jumped from 45 to 50% as the convention ended, and his lead over Mitt Romney grew from a negligible 1% to a winnable 5%. Another poll just in the swing state of Ohio gives Obama a 5-point lead. Obama now leads in polls by Reuters and Rasmussen. A UPI poll gives Obama only a 3-point edge, which is about the margin of error, and that means the race is still very, very close. Romney campaign officials say this is just a sugar high that will fade as the economic realities soak back in.
I agree with that.
I'm waiting for Pew.
The Pew Research
I
poll.
only go with Pew.
I just think none of them matter.
The Pew always comes a little later.
I mean, really, none of them matter.
Right.
None of them matter until you've got a debate.
Oh,
And
yeah,
you've got,
several debates.
There's still plenty of time to screw up.
There's one poll that matters the most, and that's in November. I'll listen to that one.
Yeah.
See who wins.
I do. I will admit that. Look, I'm the base. I'm somebody who voted for Obama.
Right. The base.
I'm the base.
Base.
Daddy saying bass. Mama saying tenor. But I have. I believe that I'm one of these guys that they talked about that. Hey, will you get re-energized? And I
It worked for me.
Am re-energized. So that's all I can say.
But you can't get a sign.
I can't get a sign. I put my little magnet in the back of my car though yesterday. I put that back there, so I've got my. But I want a yard sign.
Was
and
that
if anybody,
mentioned,
you know what?
Was that mentioned in the poll that Mike got the sticker?
I will give. Listen, I know I could go to the website and get it.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
No, you don't want to.
I remember when I was a lad, times were hard and things were
Join me,
bad.
Mike.
But there's a silver lining.
I don't know it.
Behind
Johnny
every
Cash.
cloud.
June
Okay,
Carter
don't
Cash.
sing, please. Thank you.
School officials in Chicago say they're pretty sure they can end that teacher strike today. On this, its second day. That comment surprised the head of the union, who responded with,
Daddy
wow.
sang bass.
Mama sang tenor.
He did not respond with Daddy sang bass. He responded with, wow, that really is up to them. GoDaddy says no customer data was compromised by the crash that affected nearly 11 million customers for several hours yesterday.
Was Danica Patrick involved in that crash?
No, she wasn't. She escaped without injury. It's
pretty good joke.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Pretty good joke. The crash was reportedly...
It was, Mike.
Now when you got to sell it.
He assured himself
Sometimes
quietly.
Point it out. I did what Jay does.
Yeah, no, but you were funny about it.
You see, because Danica drives a race car.
Yeah.
You tickled yourself.
There we go.
The crash was reportedly the work of a lone wolf. The hacker group Anonymous says it had nothing to do with this one. This is another one of those days that turns up a string of tragic stories about guns. Blame the day if you wish, but not us. In New Orleans, a woman mistook her husband for a burglar and shot him to death with the gun they kept for protection. In Clarksville, Tennessee, a toddler is in critical condition after accidentally shooting himself with a licensed gun his mom had left on the sofa. And in Port St. Lucie, Florida, a teenager accidentally shot himself in the penis and left testicle while carrying a loaded pistol in his waistband.
Don't look at me.
But
I like the Danica joke, but don't look at me, Mark.
All right. It's terrible, painful.
Watch Buzz.
But it's also a day of monkey stories.
Penis and left testicle. That's how that guy gets it in the town. That's when Ben Affleck comes in. That's how Ben Affleck does in The Florist.
Yeah, you thought Obama leaned to the left.
Yeah. You know how they neuter somebody? They do it with chemicals. Anyway.
We also have
how I got your mother hooked and she hung herself with a wire.
You say monkeys?
Yes, I did.
Start again. I was.
No, I'm just saying it's not only a day of gun stories, it's also a day of monkey stories.
All right, so is this are you wrapping it up now?
Yeah, we're getting close to the end. We're not quite there, but we're getting close.
Okay, I got my finger ready.
3 men arrested in New Delhi for trying to smuggle tiny toxic primates in their pants.
Don't look in my pocket.
Near San Luis Obispo, California.
Wait, clear your throat.
Excuse me. Near San Luis Obispo, California.
Let me tell you, there is right now. Look what I've got there. He's moving around. Look at his primate.
He's an opposable thumb.
There you go.
In California, a woman got bitten by her illegal pet monkey when he got tired of the frosted flakes she'd been feeding him.
If you have a pet monkey, it's bad if it's an illegal.
And in Florida...
Keep them legal, folks.
Of course, in Florida, police captured a monkey that injured 2 people and chewed on a satellite dish. That one had escaped from a backyard cage. And finally, in the early 1900s, Jews were not allowed to stay at hotels in New Hampshire, and it had nothing to do with tipping the staff.
No, it had everything to do with the traffic.
A couple of Jews ultimately opened their own hotel there in New Hampshire on a pond, which came to be known as Jew Pond.
Really?
It has been...
Hey, this is Eric Ronick from Black Gold.
It has been Jew Pond officially on maps and such since the 1960s. It is no longer known as Jew Pond. It's now Carlton Pond.
Carlton Pond.
Mazel tov.
There you go.
I'm Buzz Burbank on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Another summer on Jew Pond. I got a whole sketch I could write on that one.
Oh, Norman.
Oh, my God. All right, that's it. We got to get out of here. Our show is brought to you by TryLendingTree.com. If you're thinking about refinancing your home, you know the answer is LendingTree. TryLendingTree.com. That's TRY, LendingTree.com. Or you can call them at 866-291-2010. You'll be confident you got the best deal because the rates keep going down.
Amazing.
It's ridiculous.
TryLendingTree.com. Enter the code TMOS, and we thank you in advance, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. We got to get out of here. Brand new show tomorrow. Take some time to think about those that lost their lives on 9/11. We would appreciate it if you would do that. I'll be at the Pentagon tonight with a motorcycle ride down there, and I might actually be all on my onesies. I'll let you know whether I do it tonight, riding up to Pennsylvania right after the show. That's probably a yes, because I wouldn't have mentioned it if I wasn't doing it. All right, so long, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Danica Patrick.
USA.